Hello everyone, I'm Baltmatrix and I hope you're all doing well today. We're going to be taking a look at Zenkaiger Change Heroes series figures, and I picked all of these up at tocollectibles.com. We've got Geron, Ganon, Zenkaiger, Majin, and Vroon. All of these figures come in cute little boxes that look like this and are pretty nice. They're not very big figures. We'll do a size comparison here in a second. The one cool thing is you got to cut them open, and then the directions are actually inside the backing, and they're just black and white directions, but they somehow are better detailed than Hasbro's directions. I don't know how they manage that. Now, before we get into the figures, I want to show you these snacks that came along with them. Collectibles was nice enough to send me some snacks. So we'll go ahead and open them up. And they are little chocolate gears. Oh, Lord. They're puffed rice with chocolate on them. Those are good. Yeah, I'm going to have to put them off to the side and eat them off camera. Starting off with looking at Zenkaiger himself. This is the main ranger for the show. He is modeled in white, gold, yellow, green, blue, and pink, and black. And the character itself is very striking, especially in motion. The figure we have here is fine, though unlike the other ones, he doesn't do any kind of transformation, and I would have loved to have seen his gun painted a little bit better and actually be, straight, because the gun itself is weird. If you're holding it like that, it shoots off at an angle. I guess that's the way the toy is in real life. Not a big deal. Though it is hollow on one side, which sucks. Getting it into his hand and out of the hand is a little bit tight because those fists are very tight. Overall, though, I do like the look of it. I wish the cape was the color that it is in the show because it's white on the one side and red on the other. But guess what? I can fix that myself. Posability of this figure is excellent. Head is on a swivel at the bottom of the neck, and then the actual head is on a ball joint. Shoulder pads move up and down and then have 360-degree rotation with a hinge. There is a swivel just above the elbow. Elbow bends just over 90 degrees in both directions. Well, okay, not 90 degrees in the back direction. And then fists are articulated. There is torso swivel. Legs have plenty of range of movement. Thigh swivel, bend at the knee, ball joint at the foot. One word of warning, ball joints are a little bit loose on all of these figures at the feet. Nothing a little bit of floor polish cannot fix. The figure does have a peg hole on his belt loop just above his butt. However, you can't actually wear the cape and access that belt or that peg hole. So you have to pull the cape off if you want to have him displayed on any kind of figure stand, which is a shame. I really would have wished they had added just a little hinge there. That would have been great, but they didn't, so you're kind of left having to do something like this with no cape, and to be honest, the figure needs the cape. The character really needs the cape in order to make the whole thing look, whole. Next up is Zenkaiger, and looks pretty good. It really does look pretty good. The red, the black, and the silver paint all work very well, though looking from the back, he is just kind of monochromatic black, but overall, the look of him from the front is nice. The sword he comes with is his tail in dino mode, and on the one side, looks great. Could use a sticker. On the other side, it's hollow. Dope. Oh well. Posability-wise, pretty darn good. Head is on a swivel. Doesn't have any up and down movement. Arms are on pegs that have swivels and hinges. Bends at the elbow, not quite 90 degrees, and it is a kind of ball jointed. Well, okay, not ball jointed as you see, it's just a pin. Come on, get back in there. Torso articulation, hinge, swivel, lots of movement, bends at the knee, articulation at the foot. This guy has a tendency to fall apart. The shoulders just pop off very easily, and everything just has a tendency to pop apart, but it's supposed to do that for the transformation into his dino mode. Take the peg, turn it around, have the little peg bit pointing forward. Grab one of the legs, and that should peg in like this. Then take the bottom crotch, turn it around, turn it upside down, and that's supposed to peg in underneath like that. And then the tail is supposed to peg in. Whoop! Gotta unpeg that. The tail is supposed to peg in like this, so like that, according to the directions. Oop, nope. And then the tail is supposed to peg in to the back like that. You can just stand that up. Dino head, one arm, pointing straight back. Peg that in. Other arm, do the same thing. Make sure that the dino is lined up. Then drop it down on top. And by on top, I mean right there in the, like that. And then supposed to angle the legs. Well, you know what? We'll just leave them like that. I'm not totally convinced that this is the way he is supposed to transform into his dino mode. Yes, it does technically work, but it doesn't hold together well at all. The rear leg, or the legs, have a tendency to just fall off very easily because the pins that they're pegged into are much too short. Now, I did remove this piece on the bottom because they just kept hitting the legs and getting in the way. Next up is Ganon, and he is based off of the Gal Ranger series, aka Wild Force here in the States, in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And he's modeled in yellow, silver, black, and a little bit of red and blue up there at the eyes, and some green for the robot eyes. Posability is exactly the same as Geron, who is based off Ranger, which is the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers here in the States. The overall look of the figure, I think, works a little bit better than Geron, a little bit more cohesive, and he definitely holds together better. I still really like this figure. I think it's a very nice feeling figure. Even though Geron does feel a little bit fally-aparty, this Ganon does not. Only thing I wish is that you could actually peg the claw into his hand. The peg here is just too big, and I wish the underside of the claw was painted silver. Again, something I can do myself. To transform Ganon, first you gotta disassemble it the way we see here. The lower legs, the head, the shoulder pads, and the claw. We'll start with the top of the torso. Take the shoulder pads and peg them in so that the feet are pointing down towards the robot hands. Sorry, I keep burping for some reason. And then take the claw, and that pegs into the top. For the little backpack piece, this is actually going to peg into the back of the beast like that. And then the head is going to peg in underneath like that. And then the legs will peg into the back, and just get them out of the way. And then they will literally collapse down to form lion legs. And there we go. The lion form is a little bit weak, and it's got some real Cheetor syndrome going on here, where it's literally the torso does something and then you fold the legs over. Not that big a deal. It really isn't. It works a little bit better than Geron, and the coloring, I think, is a little bit more striking. The silver with the black and the yellow, I think that all works a little bit better. But still, we have a very, very goofy lion form here. Now, if you don't like the arms of the robot mode being visible, you can just kind of put them towards the back like this, or you can pull them off, or you can take the shoulders, point them directly forward, straighten out the arms, and then put the paws up a little bit. And that does work a little bit better, but you can still see robot hands, so who cares? Next up is Majin, and at the time of this recording, she has not shown up on the show yet. She will be coming this Sunday. And yeah, she's based on Majin Ranger, otherwise known as Mystic Force here in the US. And yeah, those are dragons' heads, or dragon head she has for feet. Overall, the figure looks pretty good. Nice pink, silver, black, and gold. And then ginormous backpack in the back. Majin comes with similar posability to Geron and Ganon, but she is a little bit top-heavy thanks to these wings, and the ball joints down by her toes are a little bit on the loose side. Not my favorite, but she's fine. Overall, she's fine. I just find that when I pose her, I need to put her on a stand because the poses she looks best in, the accessory she comes with is a dragon tail, but it's supposed to be a wand, but it looks real bad. Anywho, to transform her, it's completely disassemble her. Whoops. Then take the legs, straighten the legs out, and straighten the toes out, and combine the toes to form the dragon head, like so. And then the arms turn 90 degrees, and then put the silver forearms down to act like dragon claws, we'll say. Like that. And then peg the dragon head in, like that. So for this section, you can have it turned like that. And as long as you can peg the robot head in underneath, you're fine. So just get that lined up. There we go. That whole section pegs into the back, and then the tail pegs in like this. And once fully transformed, it looks pretty good. I did have to remove the robot head from the undercarriage simply because it just wouldn't sit flat with the head sticking out down there. Not that big a deal, just move it off to the side. And then you can actually pose the dragon head a little bit, lift the legs up and then bend the knees, and it works fine. Of all the transformations, I think hers is the most successful. And finally, we have Rune, who I think is the least successful in terms of color. He also feels the worst and feels the cheapest. His big, bulky bits are hollow. Like, arms completely hollow, legs hollow, weapon hollow. It just doesn't feel that great in the hand for some reason, and maybe that's because of the paint. But the silver and the blue are quite striking. I don't know what it is about the design, I just don't think it works all that terribly well. And that bulkiness does affect his posability. The shoulders are pretty posable, but those giant wheels do get in the way of spots. And the giant chunky legs, while they do technically work, again, kind of get in the way. Thankfully, though, he's got nice big heels, so the stability isn't really an issue. I'm just not sold on this guy, and that's probably because the lack of paint on the outsides. I should say the flanks of the figure. I really think there could be some more paint here. Again, nothing I can't do myself. Now, one thing I can't fix is his alt mode, which to me is by far the weakest, but, well, you'll see in a sec. Start with the front of the vehicle mode, straighten out the arms, and then peg them into the sides like this. Take the backpack component, put it underneath, and peg the head into that component. Next, take the legs, fold the knees down, fold the crotch up like that so it'll peg in like this. And then we take the hammer and peg it into the top of the kneecaps. And then this whole section will peg in to that piece that's underneath. And then this is pretty much it. However, the arms just get in the way. See how the arms just will not go flush? You would think there are even cutouts for the wrists, but that doesn't work. So anyway, that is the alt mode for this Zenkai Varun. As I said, I think it's the weakest one, the weakest toy of the bunch, the weakest alt mode. Next to, so from worst to best in terms of alt modes, it's Varun, Geron, Ganon, and then Majin. In terms of alt mode preference, that's my order. Oh shoot, I have the head upside down again. Overall, I'm happy with this set. Yes, it's got some minor flaws, but they're fun, and for $28, these are a bunch of fun little figures, and I can't really argue with that. Size-wise, they're a little bit smaller than a current deluxe class Transformer. Maybe around a Legends class Transformer? But definitely bigger than a core class. Anyway, if you're thinking of picking these up, I strongly suggest you do. They're nice, they're cheap, they even come with a snack. So folks, thank you so much for watching. Check out the description of this video because there's a link to Tocollectibles down there. Right now, at the time of this recording, these figures are set to being back-ordered, unfortunately. But they should be coming back in stock soon, so go ahead and pick them up over at Tocollectibles. I really like them. They're a ton of fun. They each transform. Unfortunately, they don't combine together, and at the time of this review, we don't know if they actually all will combine together. Red and yellow combine. Pink and blue do combine into two separate robots. don't know if there's going to be a combination of all 5, but I'm betting there will be. But we don't have a confirmation on that. Please be sure to like and subscribe this video. Be sure to hit that bell so you know when new videos are out. And please, as I said, comment down below, because every comment helps engagement. Then that makes the algorithm say, oh, people like this video or commenting on this video, so go ahead and comment. Anyway, that's how we grow the channel, and that's how we keep going. Again, thanks for watching. I've been Baltmatrix, and I'll catch you next time.